Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into another edition of MNW Firing Line. I'm your host, Joe Mojo, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Faye Jin. How's it going, Faye?
Howdy. It's been a pretty great week. I hope everyone had a great week as well. It's not been too hot. Weather's really nice. We got a lot of stuff tonight.
Yeah, I mean, summer is just now heating up, and Memorial Day is coming, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, this coming Monday. We hope that you have a very safe and very fun Memorial Day weekend for those of us in the States. Everybody else, we do hope that you had a fantastic weekend itself, because we had a very fantastic week here in MNW proper, especially on the Warzone side of things. 3 title matches, a Money in the Bank match. A match for the Money in the Bank, and also a new tournament was announced. The road to Multiverse is paved with so many things to look at. But let's go on ahead and get on into the swing of things, ladies and gentlemen. We, as always, are going to go ahead and get started with Friday Night Flashbang, and we're going to start, as always, at this point, with the interim general manager, Mr. Lawson, giving us some, very choice announcements.
So for those of you that have been living under a rock for the last couple of hours, it was recently reported by multiple news outlets that our good friend Brawl Kaiser apparently has been taken to a local hospital with a very serious injury. Apparently, something happened to his arm. Oh, Brawl, I do send you all of MNW's best wishes, as I know everyone here is hoping for a speedy recovery from the good boy. Unfortunately, the show must go on, and so that leaves me with a little bit of a dilemma. A main event with no champion to defend his title. So I guess here's what I can do. Technically, I need you to show up to prove that you are able to compete. But I'm not going to have Citric Kane stand out there and get a title match when you're less than 100%. No! Show me that you are capable of competing here tonight so that Citric can have you at your best. I'll tell you what, the Grim Reaper has been pissing me off lately, so I'm going to change up our scheduled match card. Instead of the Grim Reaper and Aurelian Starhand versus Graven and Jack Andrews, I think Citric Kane should pair the Reaper. You know, since the Grim Reaper likes him so much and he wants to run his mouth so much about me and the brass and this show and his lack of opportunities. Maybe if you didn't waste all of them, you'd actually have won singles titles in, 5 years. But no, you haven't. And Aurelian, I respect you and your big win over Alexis Edmonton, so in our main event instead, you will go one-on-one with Brawl Kaiser. Oh, and Brawl, if for some reason your arm is too hard and you can't fight Aurelian Starhand and you forfeit that match, or even if you show that you can't compete at a high level, well, then I guess I'm just going to have to strip you of the championship. So I do hope you can make it. As for the rest of the night, I have some things to review, but expect me back out here because apparently many of you continue to want to run the troll train. Don't think I've forgotten about you. The pillars of this company. I have a special surprise for the 3 of you. But you'll have to wait for that.
Alright, so as stated by Mr. Lawson, Brawl Kaiser has been injured. We got the notice earlier on in the night about his arm being injured, having to take to a local hospital, and then Citric Kane is going to be in later. Is going to be teaming up with the Grim Reaper, going up against Jack Andrews and Graven Allen. He's getting a little bit more unhinged as of late, isn't he, Mr. Lawson?
Oh, absolutely, which is a very, that's rather ironic, you could almost say, considering when you think loss and you think someone who wants to keep things sort of in order, and that's very much what he is trying to do. But it's very difficult when you have to wrangle such large factions like Apex, and just everybody else in the locker room, especially with things very much heating up on the road to Multiverse. The interdimensional title is still in a little bit of contention, and that brass kind of seem like they want that resolved, and some pressure is certainly on to just get a hold of things and get it all ready for Multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. Like I understand that like Mr. Rabbit had some issues dealing with the eccentricities of the Flashbang roster, and especially with some of them, chomping at the bits to even get on the show proper. But Lawson is kind of, I don't know, he's kind of diverging from his usual prim, proper, neutral outlook and more into a more bias mindset. But we will apparently be hearing back from Mr. Lawson later on the night when addressing the Troll Train and several other people. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, we had a call out, not the call out, but we had a call out from Apollo Hades. And who was to answer but Michael Macabre, the Harbinger of Doomsday himself. Sorry, Harbinger of the Apocalypse. And representing Vaporwave, he's hotter than you, Apollo Hades. It still blows my mind that he's 50 years old.
Oh, fucking get out of here. No way. He is?
Yeah. He was a
He
huge
looks
actor.
great.
I know. Apparently it's like a family secret of his. Like, his dad's in his 70s right now, and he still looks like he's in his 40s.
I mean, I believe it. Like, some families, they just have really great skin, I guess. You're gonna have to keep that in mind. I wonder if he's got his own, skincare routine.
Probably.
Anyways, back into the match, though. Macabre doesn't really care much for skin. He's all bones over here. Ain't nobody's business but his.
No bones about it. Son of a bitch!
But he's just... Macabre's just been as vicious as ever. Doom has... I'm very happy to see that they've just been keeping up and probably even finding different ways to improve themselves. They've been very at the top of their game. And Apollo has quite the opponent in front of him to face off against. He's such a fierce competitor.
Former Trios champion, former... I believe he was 5th in B block for the C101 tournament. And I mean, yes... And yes, singles competition isn't really Michael Macabre's specialty, but any means to improve himself is probably very much needed. And who better of an opponent and who better to improve yourself with than Apollo Hades himself? I mean, the range of success that he's had outside of obtaining a title belt, yeah. I mean, he's put on very fantastic matches and has been like one of the reliable people that Flashbang has. Granted, his ego is a little bit is less to be desired right now, but some would argue that he it's earned in some ways, especially when he's doing crazy shit like this. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Up on the top rope, has Michael Macabre locked in, and a superplex onto the outside.
It is rather like you were just saying just now, Joe. There's not a whole lot of people who can say they had the guts and the balls, really, to do that to Michael Macabre and just look back on the match with a grin. Which Apollo, I'm sure, is going to be very happy with his performance regardless. I mean, going up against Michael Macabre is, that's not really a small thing.
Oh, God, no. I mean, it's about as small as his... I was going to say his bank account, but no, he gets paid very, very well. Especially the residuals from that Apollo, that show that he did in the 90s. Apparently that makes...
Smaller than his pores, maybe. I can't really see them on that man.
Oh, God, no. I mean, these are high-definition cameras, and I can't see a blemish on him whatsoever.
Absolutely. Oh, and we got Michael Macabre. He wasn't quite happy about that, so he's going to take it right to Apollo in the ring here. Ouch.
Yeah, but Michael Macabre still, though, he's like... I mean, he is not the exact same guy that he was when he first came in. Hell, he's not the same as he was back in the C101. Granted, that was shockingly 2-3 months ago.
Rather true, yeah.
Time is going, really fast.
Absolutely. And in all frankness, I see Michael McCarthy, I look at him and I see an individual who could essentially at some point hold every single type of belt. Like, he might be able to get to do everything within his career, and that's not something a whole lot of people can say. He's just got a whole lot of potential for what he can do. Even despite no longer being trio tag champions, Doom has made it very clear they want to go after a whole lot more. And honestly, like, that's fun. I want to see it. I want to see what they can do.
Unfortunately, one hotter than you and a 3 counts, and your winner is Apollo Hades. And once again, unfortunately, I mean, this is why it's a match like this that kind of proves it kind of legitimizes his ego and why why Apollo's so full of himself. But as you can see here, Macabre is not terribly happy with that loss. So yeah, overall, how'd you like the match, Faye?
It's just a great showing on behalf of both of these competitors. I hope to see them square off again, actually. Hopefully in the near future. It doesn't seem like Michael's quite done with that, so he might try to give him a little payback in the future. And we'll see. We'll see how Apollo takes the win after that.
Knowing how persistent Doom is, I don't doubt that whatsoever. Especially the need to improve themselves, the need to elevate themselves beyond what they were back when they were the Trios champions. I mean, it's like you said, I could see Macabre going for the interdimensional title. I could, hell, if they ever shift over to Warzone, I could see him going for the hardcore division. Or, say, like the Nexus Titan Championship.
I would love to see Doom in like a triple tag, like a hardcore style match, like something like that, just complete and utter brutality. Like, if they can find anyone who's willing to go up against them in that sort of field. But it would be certainly a spectacle, just an utter bloodbath. But Carnage is that's not really something you could say Warzone or Flashbang want to shy away from in all entirety, after all.
I can name like 10 people who would sign up like immediately for that.
But
6 of them are on Flashbang.
We'll have to see one. We'll have to see one day, though. But for now, what do we got next up on our plate?
Well, coming up next, we have Mr. Lawson coming back down to the ring to address his troll problem. I don't know what the hell's going on with him at this one, but yeah, let's take a look.
What an opening matchup that was between two of the very best that we have here in MNW. It's so nice to see wrestlers that actually want to wrestle, that can compete in this ring. And speaking of people that I know want to compete, let's get back to the troll train. I have an interesting idea that I want to try with you folks. Johan and Tiki and Tigery made this whole deal where they have to win 5 matches in a row, but I'm curious if you can win even one. So Tiki, here tonight, you're going to be in a match one-on-one. And if you lose that match, there are going to be consequences. Because quite frankly, I don't like the way you, Inspector Sinatra, have been acting. Whether it's been antagonizing Matrix, or whether it's been making a mockery of this ring by failing to win even a single match. So Tiki, I'm not going to make some ridiculous claim that if you lose, I'm going to fire you and Johan. No! I'm going to fire your significant others. If you lose, TK and Tigery are no longer employed. Tigery barely wrestles as it is, and TK, well, I'm glad that she figured out that she could come back to the ring and earn a paycheck for once. So boys, if you want your girls around, don't lose. It's a really simple equation. Then there's the Sandman. He wants his 5-star Colt Classic match. Well, guess what? Henry Colt is one of the biggest fan favorites in MNW, and he is going to ride the pine until the Sandman shuts his mouth. So I hope you beat Jack the Questionable, or rather, no, I don't. I actually hope he kicks your teeth in, you obnoxious little twat. And there are many, many more people that I can run down a list of. People that I have issue with, but I'm not a bad person. If all of you are well behaved, nothing bad will happen to you. Like you, Brawl. Even if you do manage to come back and face the Citric Cane, I'd like to let you know what the stipulation to that match is going to be. You know, since both of you won, I decided I would pick it for you anyway. and I've thought long and hard about your title match, and I think you'll enjoy this one. A submission match!
Okay, so the immediate thing, let's go ahead and unpack that one. A submission match between Citricane and Brawl Kaiser in the coming weeks for the Interdimensional Championship. A match that favors the Citricane.
Yeah, he's been getting called out a lot for some bias on side of things, especially with Brawl supposedly being in the hospital. It just kind of reeks of something, and I can't really make two heads about it, shall we say. It's just unfortunate, and it's a lot of people are angry right now as well. So
well, yeah, two especially Tiki the Troll and Johan Mjoln of the Troll Train. Now, before we get into that, we decided to go ahead and this isn't the promo of the week, ladies and gentlemen. We're just showing this off because Lawson's words are... There's a misunderstanding to what he said about what at the very least Johan has said in the past week or so. So let's just go ahead and just play that really quick. Or so I thought. Hold up. Okay, I got it.
Another week, another loss. With the clock ticking nearer, I have been asking myself consistently, am I doing the right thing? Was this challenge a good idea? Am I the weakest link in the troll train? I take those thoughts, hold that negativity in the palm of my hands. It slowly builds up, hoping to break me, but then I bring my fingers together and crush those thoughts. The Sonata is singing our saga. I am not done. We are not done. We will overcome this trial with a fire in our hearts and blood on our knuckles. To anyone on the schneid like us, you want out of the grind? Then meet the troll train in the ring. Beat us if you can. Ascend to glory if we let you.
So that's pretty much... So that promo pretty much was just some trying to bring some sort of positivity, not making a match like Lawson was saying. I mean, you guys can go ahead and interpret it as you guys will, but I think Lawson's actually losing it now.
like a little bit of... I don't know, he seems a little too young to have any senility. We'll see. That to me reads like someone's got to be talking in his ear, or maybe the brass are really screaming at him to get things in place. I'm not so sure. It's ooh.
Well, until then, we are going to go right on ahead and get into the next match. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next was supposed to be Sandman versus Henry Colt, the Colt Classic, but there was a bit of a schedule change, as the card sometimes does. So, it's going to be the Sandman, one half of the tag team champions of the Time Bandits, telling the crowd they're out of time, going up against Jack the Questionable. And this match is for Jack's shiny, golden, gaudy boots. If the Sandman wins, he wins the boots. If he loses, he keeps the boots.
Oh yeah, hang on, let me pull it up one moment. The Louis Vuitton cross with Gucci solid gold woven with snakeskin made boots, according to Jack the Questionable himself. Think of that what you will.
What?
I'll say it again. Louis Vuitton crossed with Gucci, solid gold, woven with snakeskin made boots. Oh, and we've got
We have Mr. Victor Avicius the World Heavyweight Champion, just coming down to the ring, and looks like he's cheering on the Sandman as Jack the Questionable comes in and tries to get a sneaky win with a backslide, and Sandman kicks out at 2. This is the second time that Victor Vicious has a ringside seat to Sandman's matches.
Not completely out of Victor Vicious's character. He's been keeping an eye on Jack the Questionable. Very well paid, man. I'm not. Choice and boots aside, I guess Sandman just got really fed up with looking at him. But I believe in exchange, if Sandman were to lose this match, Jack the Questionable will be taking the eye patch, and I believe he claimed he was going to lace it with gold or just paint it over with gold.
Okay, but why though? Why gold? Also, actual human Wilson, thank you for the follow, as well as I ate your goat for breakfast. Thank you for the follows, guys. Hope you enjoy. Yeah, and as social media has mentioned, that Jackie Q is definitely one of the more successful marks. I mean, he's earned the money to get those boots, but it's a why question. It's a question of why, though. Anyway, out of time, going for that cover, and a kick out at 2.
This has been rather grueling so far. Both men are very... they're just some of the top competitors we have in Flashbang. Just very long careers. Jack the Questionable in particular, just being a rather vicious man and rather opportunistic. Although I suppose with that much money, you might as well just spend it on whatever you want, you know. So I guess it's less so why, more so why not. Although I'm not gonna go interview him over it.
And then another out of time. Is this going to be it, ladies and gentlemen? 1, 2, and kick right on at 2 once more. I'm just saying, though, how do you get Louis Vuitton crossed with Gucci on one pair of boots?
I don't know. Do you think he bought them, or do you think he took them from someone, that was a target?
You know,
Ouch.
Both are very plausible. I would not put it against Jack to steal the boots, but to be fair, they are in his size. Was that Questionable's up on the top? You don't know Jack! He gets caught with the knees.
Very well timed on the part of Sandman and just exceptionally vicious, but that is what it takes to square off against with Jack the Questionable, who is vicious but also just very slippery. Rather conniving individual, I would say. Especially it's concerning with Victor Vicious, our World Heavyweight Championship, right at ringside, keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, 1, rewind, 2, and 3. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and the winner of a new pair of freshly golden, gaudy-ass boots, the Sandman. So yeah, he keeps the boots, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have to see them anymore, unless
Oh, he probably has a duplicate pair. Oh no.
Unless, but I swear to God, if Jack has another pair, or if Sandman begins wearing them, I'm gonna have an opinion change of the Sandman. As well as Mightiest Yeti, thank you for the follow, my dude. Hope you enjoy the experience. But seriously though, fucking Sandman, if you're listening, please don't wear those fucking boots. They're so ugly. I don't care how expensive anything is. If it's ugly, it's ugly.
Or just give it to the doctor. Let him melt it down for an experiment. They look very conductive, I must say.
Caliban would definitely melt something like that down for a conductive element instead of for fashion.
Possibly.
He's a very practical individual. Oh, it looks like he also won $100,000 for those boots too. Jeez. Man, y'all are partying.
Really?
Y'all are partying at House
Wow.
Caliban, huh? Alrighty, so ladies and gentlemen, we got coming up next. We have a match with technically a returning grudge match. We got DeLuna 13 of Honorbound being led down to the ring by the Bulldog Grant Martin, going up against their old friend, I want to say, the King of the Jungle himself, Shere Khan. Looks like he sold the boots. Well, good to know.
Well, they got some use after all. But, yes, we're turning into, what is now a grudge match after, Honorbound, going out ring to, face up against Shere Khan, who, won over on, Simon the Psycho. So, DeLuna and all those, they want a little bit more, they're not quite done with Shere Khan. And I don't think Shere Khan's done with them.
No, because, like, I mean, Shere Khan's probably not going to be done with them until Simon's probably either out of the company or drops out of Honorbound. Granted, that's probably never going to happen. Honorbound have shown to be very close individuals, especially Grant Martin and frickin' DeLuna. So, and like
absolutely,
and I guess they formed some sort of like kinship with Simon the Psycho.
Absolutely. Well, whatever the result of that kinship being, neither side is really going to easily give it up, and that's quite a task, especially because trying to put away Shere Khan is already. I've said it several times. He is possibly the most resilient man, if not the most, one of the most resilient men on the Flashbang roster, and I'm counting the Minotaur brothers. Shere Khan has taken a lot of punishment, and he keeps getting back up, and always manages to get like a couple over on his opponents. It seems like he's constantly underestimated in that regard.
Well, especially
just such a tough man.
Well, especially because like it hasn't been shown since Halloween when he went up against Kevin Blackwell, but Shere Khan does have that lycanthropic ability to shift into a were-tiger. So he has that and in his back pocket at all times. And I'm not sure if it's because like people have not remembered or have not been able or not seen it for themselves. Because like we do have some newer viewers and we do appreciate you guys coming in and staying for a while and listening. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that Shere Khan definitely has that in his back pocket. He can pull that out at any time. He hasn't done it since Halloween.
Very interesting aspect now that you bring it up. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting one to see. I could definitely see him bringing it out if he gets very, very fed up with Hound. Because these, like again, we've been saying, this is quite the grudge that's between these two groups. Perhaps he just hasn't felt like he's needed it until now. There are a fair few bit of people on the roster who, despite maybe some enhanced or almost supernatural talent, they just don't feel like using it constantly because either it's tiring or they just don't need it because most of their strength is already up on the board.
Top rope drop kick onto DeLuna, 13th of his name, kicking right on out of 2. And let's talk about freaking DeLuna for a bit because we kind of front-loading it with Shere Khan and whatnot, especially like with, I mean, not only is his legacy vast and tries to kind of integrate it into like the lucha culture and whatnot, but him himself has been shown to be like pretty much one of the toughest Flashbang originals that we have, especially after the Road to Multivania match showcase that he won. He was supposed to get a freaking interdimensional title shot with it, but the Citricane stuff, I mean, Citra kind of manipulated Brawl into getting him that title match.
Actually, yeah, and you're correct now that you mention it, and I believe Simon brought that up in the past, although we're going to have to see more of that in the future. As, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Shere Khan.
Yeah, 1 Tiger Splash and 1 3 count. The King of the Jungle reigns supreme.
The ref back there was very quick to get out of the ring. He knows. Wanted to let him have the space.
Yeah, he knows about all that, and According to Phyllis, apparently Simon was leaving the offices of the Brass after the match with Shere Khan last week. Interesting. Wonder what's going to come of that.
We'll have to see. I'm sure we'll get a little bit of information dropped in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully before Multiverse, though.
All right. So, but coming up next, though, we have the Flashbang promo of the week, the actual Flashbang promo of the week, not the little showcase that we did earlier. No. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get an update from we're going to get an update from essentially one half of a Mandalorian beatdown in the Madness.
Hello, nurse. I trust our new patient is doing well.
Well, he's awake and very talkative, but he does seem to be on the road to recovery.
Good. I will make sure to go over his charts from his surgery again, but foregoing any unforeseen circumstances, now we just wait. Hopefully they are getting along well with their roommate.
And then I was up on the turnbuckle, ready to end it all. One last flourish to take him down. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground, getting my leg smashed with a chair, and then I was on a stretcher. Then I was off the stretcher. Then I was on the stretcher again. It's always been business with him. I learned his language. I put my own armor together as a tribute to him and his people. And yet he still claims I'm mocking him. I mean, yeah, I've insulted him once or twice, but that's just part of our game. Just part of our business. Maybe he's just a bad friend. Maybe he will storm in here and mug me for what's left. I don't know anymore. Thank you for listening to my rambles. You seem familiar. Are you sure we haven't met somewhere before?
Never met you before in my life.
Oh, Magnus, I'm so glad that I got to hear that before I came out here. What a load of crap. A tribute. Really? If you actually paid attention to what Mandalorians do, you would understand how disgraceful everything that you have done has been. You haven't been paying tribute. You've been smacking me in the face over and over. And here's the sad truth. I'm not going to storm into your room and break up your little party with your new little friend. No. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I took you out as a consequence for my wife's actions. And yet, where is she? Madness, I don't have to continue to break your body. Because I've taken away the only thing from you that you actually care about. Because underneath all the bravado, it doesn't matter how much you get hurt physically. I took away your ability to entertain these people. And you're an entertainer at your core, and now you can't stop all of this if you come out here and you fight me, but you're a coward. You're back there, what, sipping on some cheap pasta and catering? You're back there, what, practicing other languages? You're what, back there looking for your new tag team partner? What are you, scared? Let me ask you a question. Why did I marry a coward? You know, since you seem more convinced that it's not the right time. You know what's not the right time, Kuso? Now is not the right time for you to tuck tail and run. I don't give a damn who your employer is. I don't give a damn what their issue with Victor is. But I'm willing to make you a bet right here, right now. If you can beat me, I will walk you right into Victor's lap.
Oh boy, where to start with this one? Oh god. So, Hutch Cale pretty much not only calling out, but insulting and burying his own wife. And then pretty much giving an offer she can't refuse. Face me in the ring and I will walk you into Victor's office myself. Oh boy. Oh god, this is the marriage counseling storyline that we've kind of been looking at right now has taken a very interesting turn. Is Hutch just in it for himself at this point? Because it used to be about trying to protect Victor, the one who's paying his paychecks, but now it's like at this point I don't care. I'll walk you into his office myself.
That's, well, I'm sure Victor will make it very clear with Hutch Kale, as well as Kuso Kale, if he feels so inclined to, but the man is rather busy. That said, that's very interesting that you put it that way, because that's like a very dangerous position you would be potentially putting your boss and the heavyweight championship holder into. Because, I mean, regardless of who Victor is, it's like, I mean, you really shouldn't be condoning that sort of thing on a faction leader, and, I mean, the brass exists for those points when when someone takes it too far and, tries to kill someone in the back, of the halls. So it's just a lot. It's a lot to unpack, and especially with Madness just completely hospitalized in the way that he is. I don't know, I can't help but wonder, he probably wouldn't be above hospitalizing Kuso as well, his wife, if he can't get a straight answer out of her. And she seems like a woman who's tough enough to just not give him the answer until she wants to.
Yeah, she's been...
And it's gonna lead down a very dangerous route.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, because, this has been, a year in the making so far, because, last Multivania, when Hutch was going for the Interdimensional Championship against the Citra King and Brawl Kaiser, with Brawl Kaiser winning that match, oh my god, it's been almost a year with the Brawl Kaiser title win. Huh. Been nice. Anyway, so, what was my train of thought? And then Kuso disguising herself originally as MJF, just taking him out of the match, essentially, and then that kind of begun this whole tirade. And I'm just kind of curious what Kuso's waiting for. She's had a year to get at Victor, and hell, she had a year and as well as a match with him in the C101. What is she waiting for? Does she have a partner on this job? The Madness, but he's more in it for the lulz. But she does have a boss. She does have a benefactor who paid her to take out Victor. Yeah, no, so now I'm wondering is there someone else who's on that same job helping her, trying to get it done? I don't know. She's definitely not someone who's afraid to work with someone. I'm sure she's she's obviously a very great tag partner. As we've seen with it's been over nearly a year long reign that she and the Madness had. I honestly have no idea. It was a very long reign though, and they were very successful defenders. So I'm not necessarily saying that the Madness might know of if she has any help on the hit job, but I don't know. He seemed very. I don't know. Madness also seemed very interested in trying to get Hutch to see something, but we'll just have to see. There's still more answers out there waiting for Hutch. And it's just a matter of whether he's gonna have to beat them out of somewhere, or if they're gonna just come out and tell him at this point. Yeah, at this point, but until then, we're gonna have to figure out what the answer is on that tomorrow on Friday Night Flashbang. But for now, we heard it earlier. We heard it announced earlier from Mr. Lawson. Coming up next is the match for two of our wrestlers' careers. We have Tiki the Troll and Johan Milnov the Troll Train, and a opponent of Lawson's choosing, Lord Bareback, being led to the ring by his brother Drathulu. Dungeons and Destinies in the house. If Tiki the Troll loses this match, TK and Tigiri are going to be fired from Flashbang. So, no pressure.
Yeah, I heard like a good chunk of the locker room was absolutely fuming. There was just a lot of noise when that announcement was made. That's some motivation right there. But if you're being so willing to toss great talent out of the company, I don't know.
Well, it's another thing. I kind of want to bring another point into, like, from what Lawson says. TK and Tigiri, there's a lot of T's in the Soul Train alliance. Oh, God, action surge right out the gate. And kicking right on out of 2. The Troll Resilience. Kicking in at the right time. But yeah, a point that I kind of wanted to make is, according to Lawson, Tigiri barely even shows up. I've seen her backstage all the time. And TK remember that she was even working here. Those were 2 individuals who barely ever got booked outside of, like, a trios match. And...
Right.
And,
you're right, and we recently saw TK in the showcase, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's on the downtrend.
No, not whatsoever. Frickin' hidden brass knuckles and I swear to God, they do this just to mess with us. Tiki just kicks right on out at 2. Also, this just in. CFG South, thank you for the follow. Hope you enjoy your experience here.
Brass knuckles. Oh, I was not expecting that. That's
Where did he hide those?
Let's not think about that.
He's in a
thong. Brass knuckles. How did the ref not see it?
The man's in a thong. How?
His boots, maybe? Those are boots, right?
Those are boots.
Yeah, you could probably hide it in your boots.
I get that he's a shape-shifting dragon, and I mean, also inaugural tag team champion right here. Okay, nah, that's great. Anyway, inaugural tag team champion, and I mean with his brother Drethul over there. But look, I give a lot of credit to like the shapeshifters and like how dragons operate, but I'm not gonna let that go. Like, you're going to hear me yap about this backstage for, like, the next month.
Oh, I've got a couple of suggestions for where else he could have hidden that, but let's not get into that. Tiki over here is just fighting for his life and the careers of his partner, as well as his good friend Tigiri. And Johan, some thunder is going to roll as a result of this. I can't wait to see it.
Once again, having spoken with the members of the Troll Train, I can guarantee you, Johan is an angry individual. Like that is for sure. But something like this happening with that kind of stipulation, Tigiri would have been angrier. And if you know anything about Amazons, you don't piss off an Amazon. Unrestricted, unbound by rules, they are all kinds of dangerous. Don't ask me how I know.
And unrestricted and dangerous is not more of what Flashbang needs right now. Although Bareback wasn't, he wasn't shy of bringing in some brass knuckles from wherever. And Tiki, okay, we don't need that angle, but thank you.
Toll, and a 3 count. TK and Tigiri's careers are saved. Also, that goes into the win column for Tiki, so he has 1 win right now. One out of the 5 in a row.
Hey, the toll has been paid. He's looking pretty satisfied after that, but thank God.
Nothing more motivating than a man trying to protect his significant other. That is kind of heartwarming, actually.
Well, if there wasn't enough before, that's certainly a lot of motivation now for the Troll Train to just keep on chugging. I'll tell you that much.
I'm just wondering if they're going to join the actual line of people that want to kick in Lawson's teeth, because at this point it's going out of the arena. I think about everybody in Flashbang and a few people in Warzone proper are like, okay, no, this guy needs to leave. And we do have a tweet out on social media. Joe, a wise man, once said, A wise man once told the Sandman, don't ask questions you're not ready for the answers to. Listen, I'm a journalist. I have nothing but questions. As well as a message from Rico Rose. TK won a showcase the week before all of this. Exactly. Like, it's just not them just not getting booked. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, there's some other strange motivation going on here. But thank you for the words, though, otherwise, Sandman, as well. I'm sure you can put it more eloquently and in your own style. Exactly where Bareback must have been hiding those brass knuckles. But let's move away from that. Just a great match, otherwise. Very tense, though. People were very afraid to see a Tiki get one over on there.
Yeah, TK is a ghost, by the way. She could just peer into the walls. You don't want that shit haunting you.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, so coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, another match that Lawson booked. It's the Black Prince himself, Jack Andrews, teaming up with the Chocolate Zombie Graven. And their opponents, the Grim Reaper, getting off of his short tail and teaming up with the Citricane. So it seems to be like Citricane is consistently teaming up with, or at least utilizing, individuals who were part of the Empire of Terror at one point in time. He's consistently using the Abyssal Void. Teamed up with the Grim Reaper here, the Empire's second in command. And also, weirdly enough, there were rumblings of secret police. That Lawson was using secret police in the form of Honorbound.
So just Hitman, yeah, that's a very
So again, another former member of the Empire of Terror being utilized in this plot.
Regardless of current standings, the former connections are that's a little damning as far as Lawson is concerned. Yes, I would agree. Even so, though, Grim Reaper has not been very. He's actually been rather just annoyed and very threatening towards Citricane, I've noticed.
Yeah, he's been very reluctant in all of this. Like, all he wants to do is his own thing. I mean, after the Empire of Terror dissolved, he came out with a new look, a new attitude. And all he wants to do is just, wrestle. All he wants to do is just get gold, get his shots in. And he keeps getting dragged into these kinds of old Empire businesses.
Which is must be very frustrating for a wrestler's career, especially. That will also make of note, as far as just wrestlers being frustrated, I would say no greater in this ring, as far as frustrations should be concerned. As far as Jack Andrews, that man, ever since the end of the C101, he has been straight ahead, eyes focused, just dead on. He wants to be at the main event of Multivania, and with the current stipulations of this match, his blood must be boiling. Something fierce in the Black Prince, I must say. He's been very clear on that he's going to be there, and
especially like with the current situation of Sunny DDT onto the Black Prince and a dead man walking onto Graven, which is ironic because he too is a dead man. The juicer being applied to the Black Prince and a cover onto Graven. Jack Andrews breaks on out of that, but it's merely a distraction. Yep, that's a 3 count, ladies and gentlemen. Your winners, the Grim Reaper and the Citricane.
Oh, no.
But yeah, with the current situation with the World Heavyweight title scene, especially Spike's involvement in it, I don't know if that's going to be now or... well, those frustrations seem to have gone away. Interesting.
We'll see. The Citric Cane is also, he has a very he's a good way of getting on people's bad sides, and, what was it, Grim Reaper has said before, he nearly choked out and squished, Citric Cane's head, some months past.
Yeah.
During, in the middle of the whole shapeshifter debacle, that was going on.
What do you mean was? It's still going on. We have two
Oh yeah, I just mean, like, I just hope it's towards the end. Oh no.
Yeah. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, we have, hopefully we'll be hearing more about that coming up tomorrow. But until then, we have something that's kind of unrelated to not only the world title scene, but also the interdimensional title scene. And hell, away from Lawson, we have a rubber match of sorts between Sir Reginald of the Princedom and Electroman of Electro Reality. And we didn't really have any entrances. We kind of just cut right on into the match itself. Both men have a win over each other. And looks like VR Junkie is getting a little up close and personal seat to see his tag team partner Electroman. And backbreaker to start off. So yeah, VR Junkie supporting his I want to say best friend, but for safety's sake, let's just say very good friend. And Reginald kind of out here by himself. I'm surprised frickin' Percival didn't come in.
Oh, sure. What is a prince without his knight, or so to say? But Reginald to me has always seemed like an individual who wants to be just known for not necessarily like a silver spoon fed, or at least not unafraid to be able to take care of himself in the ring, shall we say. He's it seems really between the Princedom and Electro Reality, they very much want to just make it clear ever so more the which one of them is just better. And what is...
Looks like Reginald, looks like VR Junkie tried to grab the leg of Reginald, and VR Junkie took advantage of that clothesline to the back of his head. And, discus clothesline. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Electroman. So yeah, of this best of 3 series, ladies and gentlemen, the Electroman came out the winner. And it's like I said on the back of his shirt, the mighty do not kneel. So yeah, I hope that they take this and just skyrocket into, tag title scene, trios title scene, like they can team up with Alexis Edmonton again. Hell, we could have we could have Electroman versus Brawl Kaiser. Imagine that.
Ooh.
I'd like to see that.
Interesting match. Yeah.
But
until then,
ladies and gentlemen, we have our main event segment, because mostly due to time of both the match and the promo in itself, I kind of put both of these segments together. So first things first, we're going to go right on ahead and hear from the good boy, the Sentai hero, your interdimensional champion,
Dimensional champion, weighing in at 242 pounds, Brawl Kaiser.
Hi! Sorry, I got back here as soon as I could. So there might have been a little bit of a confusion. I guess I really appreciate all the texts and the messages and the tweets about the assault that happened, but I can assure you, I think there might be a little bit of a misunderstanding. If I could just have a quick second to clear everything up. I had to go really, really fast, like supersonic fast. I just need to catch my breath. So it's true that I was assaulted here before the show, but I was assaulted by a bunch of puppies. a local animal shelter decided to bring some dogs by, and so I thought I would help show them around. We put together a little thing for the kids, and, you know, they were very rambunctious, and I kind of hurt my elbow when they all, like, kind of dogpiled on me. So, but I didn't go to the hospital. I went with the dogs. I paid for all of them to get spayed and neutered so that they could be adopted. So we're gonna be doing like an adoption thing. So I just thought like I should, you know, pitch it. So I went to the hospital after the assault, but it was not because of the. I'm sorry for the. I guess there was like a miscommunication, and I guess I needed to come out here and clear it up. And it seems like a lot of people were really worried about me, and I'm so sorry. But Lawson, I appreciate you giving me the heads up about the submission match. I don't know a lot of submissions, but like now that I have an extra week, I guess I could prepare something. So I guess thank you. And I could absolutely fight Aurelian Starhand. I mean, my arm's fine. I guess, you know, rolled over onto it. It's not really that big of a deal. You know, for those puppies, I would take a little bump on the arm, okay? They are adorable. As for you, Citricane, I don't know what the whole deal was with that last match that you just had with Raven and Andrew, but like that was messed up. And I would just like to put this out there as a superhero myself, that maybe APS should take another look at that footage. Maybe the Omni Geek should, you know, grab that footage so that we could get a closer look. That's all I'm saying. I'll be right back.
And introducing his opponent.
And coming out next, we have Aurelian Starhand going up against the good boy himself. Starhand's ready. Brawl Kaiser's ready. He is healthy, as you all heard earlier. And out the gates, Aurelian Starhand with that Snapdragon suplex. And we got a message from the Sandman. Shit like this is why I suggest he get a PR representative. Many people freaked the fuck out. Oh man, who would represent Brawl Kaiser as his PR?
Oh no, I have no idea. Are there any other superheroes on the Flashbang roster that would step up?
That would step up? Who knows? But any other superheroes? I mean, Omni Geek. That's one that comes to mind.
He's been away, hasn't he?
He's been working with APS, but when it comes to the investigations, especially with the shapeshifter business.
Oh, interesting.
But like, if we're talking about superheroes on Flashbang, I mean, Omni Geek comes to mind. I don't really know about. We don't really have that many superheroes. Now I'm thinking about it. I mean, if we go to the Warzone side of things, obviously Mega Blitz. I mean, Common Rider and a Common Rider. Sorry, a Rider and a Rider.
Very interesting. Yes, the but a very strange announcement. I'm glad Brawl is okay, though. That's it makes what Lawson said a little bit suspicious. You'd think it would be very obvious if Brawl was hurt, like even though he has the suit on, you know, the arm would still be broken. But he's fine. He's just doing very well for himself right now.
And it looks like the Citricane's music is being played right now. And it looks like Starhand is taking control over that. Also, I after Brawl mentioned the adoption drive, I may have went over just to see puppies, and I may have adopted one.
Aw, always remember, always consider adoption, everybody. Everyone wants a little forever home.
It was a corgi.
Oh yes, Corgo. Oh, but dropping a couple, like straight on the back of Brawl Kaiser's head. Oh, thankfully a kick at it, too.
Exterminatus applied, and the good boy kicked out at 2. Anyway, so Brawl Kaiser coming up right. Scoop slam onto Aurelian Starhand. Oh, man. I mean, all submission match is going to be in the future, and he applies the last rites from Victor Vicious. And Aurelian Starhand taps. Man.
That is cheeky.
He just insulted 2 people at once.
He's been very bold lately. That's as you're playing with fire over there, Bro Kaiser. We'll see how that works out in the future for you.
So, the winner of this match, ladies and gentlemen, despite all odds, once again, Burl Kaiser. And, oh man, that, man, he added some stank onto that one, didn't he? Especially with, like, using the last rites of all things. Oh god, is he gonna, like, try and use the submission moves of all, like, his former opponents in the match itself?
That's a very... Oh, now that you say that, that is actually a very Sentai thing to do, where you pick up or learn tricks, and just kind of repurpose it, like, sort of like you treat it like an upgrade, or like a skill you've learned or picked up. That's interesting.
I mean, especially because, like, I mean, he's probably seen Victor do it all the time, and, especially being in the C101, yeah, exactly.
Well, we'll have to see. If we know, if anyone knows Victor, it's safe to say that he's gonna reference it in the future, but we'll look forward to that whenever it shows up. But very sneaky with the Citric Cane music, but we'll see.
Oh, for sure. But until then, we will hopefully see more of that tomorrow on Flashbang. But we are not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Flashbang moment of the week.
You can stop all of this if you come out here and you fighting, but you're a coward. You're back there, what? Sipping on some cheap pasta and catering? You're back there, what? Practicing other languages? You're what? Back there looking for your new tag team partner? What are you, scared? Let me ask you a question. Why did I marry a coward? You know, since you seem more convinced that it's not the right time. You know what's not the right time, Kuso? Now is not the right time for you to tuck tail and run. I don't give a damn who your employer is. I don't give a damn what their issue with Victor is. But I'm willing to make you a bet right here, right now. If you can beat me, I will walk you right into Victor's lap.
Essentially giving his wife her bounty on a silver platter in exchange for a match. And he didn't even say if you beat me. He just says face me. I just kind of want to point that out. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Hutch Kale is a man on a mission, and he is, I would be, if I were Kusa, I would be hard-pressed to not take him up on that offer. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is your moment of the week, and that is Friday Night Flashbang. You can go on ahead and check out Flashbang tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, card pending to change, on twitch.tv/Edward Bosco. But as we transition into Warzone, we are going to go right on ahead and get into the call-out for this week, where Travis sits down with a very tenacious interviewee. Hope you enjoy.
Hey guys, it's Travis from The Callout. Tonight, I've got myself a very special guest. He's considered one of the top members of the Flashbang roster. So it's time to get in the ring with Graven. Good evening, Graven. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Travis. All things considered, right now, I'm doing okay.
So with Multivinia just around the corner, what are your goals for the big event? Anyone you want to face off on the big day?
I think it's yeah. I've made it pretty clear that I'm planning on not just main eventing Multivinia, but challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship and I know that Victor is the guy to beat right now, and Spike's the number one contender, and whether or not Spike is able to, beat Victor before Multivania, if it comes down to that, it is what it is. But regardless, I want to be there. I want to be in that main event. I want to be challenging for that championship, and whether it's me and Victor, me, Spike and Victor, or me and Spike, or if it ends up even being a fatal four-way with me, Spike, Victor, and Jack Andrews, which, considering what happened on Friday, that's kind of up in the air right now. But if it ends up being in that case, I have absolutely no problem with facing three other guys. I mean, heck, I did it before. 64-man tournament, Final Four.
What are your thoughts on Lawson and his connection with Citric Kane?
I know there's a lot of rumors going around with, is Lawson, has he been Citric Kane this entire time, or is it the other way around? Is it a shapeshifter? We don't really know, but it's been pretty obvious that Lawson has been abusing his power, and it's been happening for a while, and I think now more than ever, those of us here in the Flashbang locker room, we really need to step up and show Lawson that, whatever his tactics are, whether he's bullying Brawl Kaiser or whether he's throwing the good guys into matches and, giving them offers they can't refuse for whatever reason. I think we all just need to step up and show him and the press that we're not going to be bullied.
What's your favorite type of match to wrestle in? Are you fond of partners, or do you like to fly solo?
It's no surprise. I've never been a tag team guy. You can really watch all of my matches throughout my earlier career and realize that I've never worked well with others. I've been getting better at it. Like, I have no problems, as long as I know that it's somebody that I can work well with in the ring. I have no problem, be it Jack or the Bone Warriors or any of my old members of Fate. It's as long as I know we have good chemistry, I don't mind. But generally, I do consider myself a singles competitor, multi-man, 1v1, triple threat, what have you. Absolutely a fan of Extreme Rules, no holds barred matches. I love to fight, and I love throwing out the rule book. It's, kind of my shtick. Never been a big submission guy. It's, again, you can look back at my career. I've always struggled with submission users. But let's just say on that front that I've been practicing.
Now, lots of people here claim that you're one of the top wrestlers in the promotion, and that you want to square off with the former Flashbang champion, Ginger Boy. Is this just a friendly match, or is this a lot more personal?
It's not really personal, but it really just boils down to the 64-man tournament, that fatal four-way match. Me, Gingy, Jagger, and Wilson. And it really just comes down to the fact that I never got my one-on-one rematch for that championship. And, because I was dealing with the Emperor at the time and dealing with Pretty, but I never was able to step up and challenge Ginger Boy for that title. And now I know there's no title on the line, obviously. And at this point, it's more, can I beat the guy who used to be our world champ and prove that I can get the job done at Multivania and prove that I can be the world champion? That's really all it boils down to. And it is a friendly match because I have nothing against Ginger Boy. He's one of the best wrestlers, not just in Warzone and Flashbang, and just MNW in general. And I've never had a problem with him. And hell, one of these days, heck, I'll team with him. I'll be in a tag team match with him. I don't care either way. But yeah, I just want that match. I want to prove that I can do it.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to the Firing Line audience?
Look, I don't know what's going on right now between Lawson going stir crazy and this whole thing with the administration over on Warzone and this device that Dr. Grimm says is active and whatever is going on with that. But I think now more than ever, it's just time for not just Flashbang, but MNW as a whole between both shows. It's time for us as wrestlers and individuals to, stand up, not just for ourselves, but for the multiverse, and show Lawson and show the administration, and even in particular show the brass that we're not going to just sit around and watch what's happening and be immobile. It's time we actually do something about this. And one more thing, Jack. I know what happened Friday, and I know what you might be feeling. Just know that I'm going to find out why that happened. I'm going to fix it. Even if I have to sacrifice my chance at Multivania for you to have your match.
Ah, Graven. Half man, half zombie, all butt kicking. And if you want to see the chocolate zombie Graven, tune in on Fridays for Friday Night Flashbang at twitch.tv/Edward Bosco. My name is Travis, and thank you from the Callout.
Thank you, Travis, for another edition of the Call Out, and thank you, Graven, for coming on down and sitting with him. If you are an MNW wrestler and you want to get your name and face out there, go on ahead and message Travis on the Discord. Give him a shout, and we will see about getting you guys onto Firing Line. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, we are going into the Warzone, and we are in the King's Road tournament arc, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, these 8 individuals are going to be battling it out to see who is going to face the MNW champion at Multivania. We have such an eclectic group of people here. The Beef, Seth Jackson, Injustice Jake, Wilson, Defunk and Nice Ice in the first round, and Sir Uncle Dunk going up against an unknown opponent in The Jester. And no, not a clown.
Jester standing in for essentially a wild card or a Joker card.
Yes,
but that is going to be an interesting. That's going to be an interesting thing to see, because there's already quite a bit of speculation. People throwing out some names of currently away or recovering or otherwise thought retired wrestlers from MNW, but we'll see. It seems like very much the intent of this is to make a very clear picture and throw the best of the best that we have on the Warzone side of things attain for ourselves a new multiversal heavyweight contender.
I mean, not just on the Warzone side of things. I kept seeing a bunch of people throw out a bunch of crazy names from outside of MNW. I saw Finn Halverson. I saw Zacho Dudley. I saw Brunhilde Helle's daughter, of all things, and freaking Dragonhawk. Like, especially Dragonhawk, the freaking longest stand, like the last URW World Heavyweight Champion. Imagine that guy against like Defunk.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. And especially very interesting to see with the events of last Warzone. People are looking forward to seeing possibly the Beef and Wilson go up against each other. But
that's a very good match to look forward to, because especially after Wilson setting Beef off the top rope and just into the ring, interfering with the match. And those two have a little bit of history, but not to get too much into that, because there's a whole lot of speculating we could do, but there's a whole lot.
I'm sure everybody on this card is going to be rather eager to make themselves known in the coming weeks. So we'll see.
Until then, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be hearing from one person on this bracket, ladies and gentlemen, addressing the administration and a possible wrestlers union, we have Sir Uncle Dunk to start the show.
Good evening, Multiverse Nexus Wrestling audience. I am Sir Uncle Dunk. You, of course, know who I am. I'm the most important man in this company, because I'm rich. But that's partially why I'm here to speak to you today. Yes, I am a wealthy, wealthy man. But I have standards, ladies and gentlemen. Standards, I tell you. And while I look down upon you all, I look down upon you all equally. I do not differentiate between the hard-working man, the person cleaning up my gold Lamborghini, or the robot who is doing my laundry. So to hear R. Sawyer disparage Zacho Duo for being a robot just gets under my skin. If you're going to disparage Zacho Duo, do it because of his wrestling talent, not because of how he was built. Sir, we have standards here. But speaking of which, while I agree that the administration now needs to be opposed because they're interfering with business, really, do we need a union? Sir, unions, no, it goes against unions. When I hear the word union, I think communism. That's right, it's communism. And as an adherent capitalist, I must oppose communism in all its forms. Be it a union, be it some fool from Cyber Siberia coming forth and trying to extol all of its good qualities. No, sir, I will not stand for it. So, in summation, all of them suck.
Play dunk with some curt language.
All right, so from the Golden Goose's mouth, Sir Uncle Dunk. Not only, it still blows my mind that he's kind of with everybody. Granted, Anon said some very horrible, terrible things, mostly about the roster in itself, but most of the roster. But also about this workers' union, he seems to be very against. And hang on, what's this? I see. Yeah, just go ahead and patch him on through. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, calling in from the Uncle Estate, we have Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler, can you hear us?
Indeed.
So, according to this note here, it said you had some words about Uncle's address there.
Indeed. While we want to make sure that we do not condone any actions by the administration or their views on any species whatsoever, unions are a slippery slope to go down.
All right. Since we got you here, how is Blood Money feeling about Uncle's chances in the Kings Row tournament?
Well, setting aside the fact that we don't know who he's going to be facing, the boss has quite the pedigree under his belt. Nexus Titan Champion, Tag Champion, if I have my stats right.
Yeah, most definitely. The money clip submission move that he uses is definitely one of the deadliest moves. So hopefully, whomever he's going up against is going to be in a precarious situation themselves. But until then, is there anything that you would like to tell the Firing Line audience?
Just this. Administration, look out for the Bad Batch.
All right, Mr. Butler, we are going to have to drop you on here so we can go ahead and get into the show proper. We do hope you have a good evening. And we are going to go right on ahead and into an MNW staple, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, the showcase match. Starting off at number one chance. I hate myself for saying that. Coming up next, representing Mystery Inc. is Mr. Enigma. Coming in third, representing Dungeons and Destinies, Rapture New Road. Coming in fourth, representing High Voltage, the leader of High Voltage, the cyberpunk prodigy Aiden Zero. Coming in representing the Burning Lounge, Constantinople, the Constant Nightmare. And coming up next, we have Glycerus. And then his new protege, Power Surge. And coming out last, a new debut, ladies and gentlemen, Alice Evergreen. And we are off, and it is chaotic. Alice going right after Power Surge, and so is Constantinople. Very interesting. Looks like we got Aiden versus Nigma, Rapture versus Glycerus. And here you see Alice going after Juan. So yeah, like Faye, you've been paying more. You pay more attention to the Warzone side of things. Is there any word about who this Alice Evergreen is?
There hasn't been a lot of information brought out so far, other than a quick mention on behalf of commentary through Jerry Aldini that HR had a bit of a hand in selecting our newest Warzone roster member. So this would actually make the second rookie of the year for the Warzone side of things. So quick congratulations to Alistair for his debut. People haven't been able to make heads or tails of the rookie so far, but you could also say very much the same of the current rookie that we also have on the roster. So we've got quite a mysterious bunch so far. We don't know a whole lot about Alistair, but I'm sure he'll him or someone else will figure things out in the future. But he's got quite a bit of fire in him, just unafraid to go after some of our current roster members, as he's been taking it with Enigma. Although speaking of current members, I am very happy to see Power Surge and Glycerus in the ring. It seems Glycerus is very much eager to show Power Surge the ways of street lucha.
Yeah, I mean, Power Surge is very adept. It has been. Let me rephrase. Power Surge himself has shown to be very adept in lucha libre, and especially the improvisational and creative aspect that street lucha kind of just shows us. I mean, Glycerus can do this in his sleep. Imagine what that level of creativity can do with Power Surge, and how he can progress himself.
As we saw a few weeks ago, it was Power Surge actually who made it third place in a showcase, as he had been going up against Labras of all people.
But third place in one showcase, 8th place in this one. And here we see Rapture just on the top of the rope here, going in for a Meteora. Oh, and just drop kicks Nigma on the outside. It looked like he was going in for a Meteora, but then he's like, no, I'm kicking this dude.
Changed his mind. Speaking of mysteries, Enigma is also just one of the more peculiar individuals of the roster. We don't know a whole lot about him, and it's probably going to be a while before we ever figure anything out.
Never heard him speak.
No.
That's how mysterious he is.
Sure.
I talked with the man. We had to get a narrator for the interview. I'm not even joking on that one.
Very interesting.
Anyway, so here we had Mr. Enigma eliminated. Alistair going up against Juan. Aiden against Glycerus. Constantinople in the middle of the ring. Looks like he's just not getting up. And Rapture still on the outside, kind of getting a bit of a rest in himself.
We've got a Constantine, the Constant Nightmare up against the Cyberpunk Prodigy. Aiden's been on a little bit of he just seems like he's trying to test the waters, figure out a new direction for High Voltage after the loss to the Three Kings.
And it looks like Juan Chance had his chance taken as he got eliminated. See, that's just wordplay, not a pun.
All right, you get it. You got it this time.
Oh, looks like Alistair going into tornado DDT through the middle rope. This guy's a nut job. Going for that cover. 2, 3. Rapture New Road is eliminated, and we're down to 4. Alistair getting 2 eliminations.
Right, and we got him facing up on the outside up against this Glycerius, the Street Lucha expert himself. It's going to be interesting seeing him going up against him, but we got a pin here. And that's
we got
3.
3 eliminations in his debut match. So far, he's already doing very well.
2. He doesn't quite get it on Constantinople.
Oh, but a kick out there from Constantine, the Constant Nightmare. Not to be easily put away like that. Even Aiden having to put in quite a bit of work over here.
Ooh, gory-style neck breaker.
Double duty over there as he just drops Alistair down.
And we're down to 3, and oh, there it is, that bulldog choke that 8-0 has been perfecting, and Alistair just gets right on out.
And the sit-down power bomb and into the pin. 1, 2, 3.
2.
Oh, and injured it in his debut. Constantinople eliminates Alistair.
So Alistair, 3
We
eliminations.
got Constantine up against 8-0.
The power of the Constant Nightmare, and now he is.
And we are down to 2. I mean, Constantinople has got to be feeling the heat, no pun intended, with Hightowers' main event match in the main event coming up.
So yeah, both are.
Absolutely,
in the
because
main
they're part of Chained Hell together is what they form, yes?
Yes. I said
Yeah,
it pretty
so I
much
saw a bit of speculation about that, mentioning how if Hightower loses, that is the permanent breakups of Chained Hell. We won't be seeing them together anymore, which feels so odd to hear.
I know, especially with with how dominating Chained Hell was back in its heyday. I mean, Uzra, the Quiet leaves Flame Revenant and Uzra, as well as now Hightower. I'm still thinking that the stipulation isn't needed. He can always, personally speaking, he could always come back. If he loses, I feel like he should always have room to come back and challenge for it again. It's an open challenge title. But I guess Hightower would not have been satisfied unless he fought like his life depended on it.
And here he goes up and
That's actually. No, I'm not gonna lie, especially with him being on death row. He spent years, decades even, fighting for his life, and fighting to just survive. And that's kind of how he became as big and strong as he was. And then he came into MNW and was a dominating force. I guess
That's a rather interesting way to put it. It's almost like he's putting himself up on death's row again.
Which is very thematic. Now that you say that. And those charges were acquitted too, so yeah,
He doesn't need to put himself through that, but maybe there's something about the experience. Maybe it's just not worth it to him unless there's something worthwhile on the line. Oh, ouch. He's in for the cover.
And with that determination, pins 8-0, your winner of this showcase match, the Constant Nightmare, Constantinople.
Constantinople of Chained Hell wins this showcase match.
Going forward, that kind of does set. I believe that should set the tone for Hightower's match later on in the night. But
absolutely,
we will see what will come of that later on. But for now, we're going to go right on ahead and into some words from our happy custodian. Ladies and gentlemen, we hear from the janitor.
Ladies and gentlemen of MNW, I have an announcement to make and a rebuttal to my old friend Uncle Doug. In light of recent events, I think it is high time that we band together in a way that will protect us from the unjust machinations of registered Anon and his so-called administration. We've seen in recent weeks where Anon has abused his position as the head of human resources and interfered with the workings of Warzone. His most recent revelation that he is working to oust Sacco Duo as champion for the crime of not being human is unacceptable. Therefore, I have decided in order to protect us from not just these actions, but for the future, we must form a union. I, as both a wrestler and a janitor, have begun work to form the Nexus Union of Wrestlers. I cannot do this alone, however. I must call upon like-minded individuals to join me so that we may protect the rights of all in MNW. Help me, wrestlers of MNW, to usher in... Excuse me? The hell?
Apparently we caught him post luau.
Janitor, what are you on about, buddy? Why are you bringing all these bad vibrations to the ring? I don't know what you're upset about. Nothing's going on. I would never disparage a robot. They're fine wrestlers and fine parts of our organization. I'm not sure what you're upset about. What kind of revisionism are you trying to do, Anon? You very clearly came out here last week and said the reason you're pushing Big Papa Plutonium as the #1 contender is that you do not want a non-human robot as the champion, as in your position as head of HR. You said that clearly. Janitor, Daddy-o, I would never say anything like that. That is bad karma, dude. I would never say that. That's uncool. And I'm nothing but trying to be cool, Daddy. So, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't remember coming out and making anything like that. Have you hit your head? No, you will not come into this ring and gaslight me. Not when we have videotape from last week. And you have offended, well, just about everyone. I can only think of maybe 3 wrestlers outside of the administration that side with you, and even one of them doesn't like it. Administrator Daddy, why would I work for the man? That is just not my bag. Do not. I just was chilling, looking at the beach, looking to catch some cool waves, and then they tell me, oh, you need to be in the office. And I hear you saying all these mean things. It hurts my feelings. Hang on, this is the strangest conversation I've ever had with you. And considering our history, that's really saying something. You know, you're not going to deter me. We of the Nexus Wrestling must protect ourselves. We must have a union so that we can work for our common good. Daddy, if that's what you need to do, don't let me stand in your way. I got no problem. Unions are great things. Go for it, baby! But I gotta warn you, I got a feeling you're poking a bear that you don't want to. There are things happening that I don't think you see. Maybe you want to be careful what road you go down to. So that's friendly advice. I like you. I really do. This is the most confusing moment in my life, and I had to teach Sir McCheese how to drive. All right, fine. You know what? You officially gave your blessing. I heard it. There will be no union busting. Well, maybe from my old friend Uncle Dunk, but who cares? They're very well. Consider me the new shop steward for the Nexus Union of Wrestlers. It is, as we like to say, a new day. And with that, sir, do you have any final statements? I didn't think so. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have work to do.
Okay, so... What? What's going on?
Yeah, I didn't send you the notes for this one because I thought I mixed up my medication but we very clearly saw Anon like a couple weeks ago just disparage non-human wrestlers and that as the reason for all this and now he comes back from vacation like what?
He was here last week. It wasn't that kind of what we reviewed the stuff before the shows, and I still had the stupid look on my face, but I'm just like, what the actual fuck? Are there two shapeshifters? I know that you mentioned it in between the segments, and I'm just like, I kind of have to echo your statement. Are there two shapeshifters now, or is it the same shapeshifter? The fuck is going on?
Well, there's several wrestlers across MNW just employed by the company who possibly have that capability. It's just we're not APS and GIF are just having a damned of a hard time trying to narrow down who the suspect is, and I mean maybe because they got too much heat on Flashbang now they're over on I don't know. I don't know if I can trust Anon on this. I don't know the guy well enough. I don't know if he was, he's just, maybe got into a little bit of the green and, had a bad trip. But that's, it doesn't really explain the power trip. Doesn't explain this past several months of, HR's, dominance. So, I mean, we're just gonna have to see what lies in the future.
We will have to see what comes about this on Saturday. But until then, we're just going to go right on ahead and get away from this absolute mindfuck of a situation into something a lot more simpler. That's right, 4 people beating the crap out of each other. We have coming out first, Wonderball. Anyway, here's Wonderball tagging with his high voltage faction member, Leonid Sanchez. Going up against Devin and Jack the Scorpion Abbott, Shoot Nation. And High Voltage looking to get some momentum going after their loss against the 3 Kings. Shoot Nation needing to do the exact same.
Not in the ways I've seen so far. We haven't even gotten into our title matches yet.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is we have 2 very highly regarded tag teams here, and former tag team champions of Shoot Nation, aspiring tag team champions, and high voltage here. So yeah, good stuff.
Possibly a lot on the line. I mean, both these teams.
Essentially they feel like almost mainstays of the company at this point. Just having just been around for so long, regardless of any wins. But it is very nice to see both of them just both tag teams getting right back into the ring and just throwing themselves at some of the competition, which is certainly the way to go to work out some maybe some new angles. Maybe there's some new teamwork they want to try. Just really improve themselves and up their game, because we do need tag team contenders, and there's also not the trios tag anymore, but
Well, we kind of already have tag team contenders in the Outlaws after Anon reversed Aldini's decision.
Dropkick by Devin. Another one.
Well, we'll certainly have to see. I don't think the wrestlers by large are really wanting to exactly listen to the administration, regardless of who might be enforcing them.
Yeah.
And there's also the years ahead of us. I mean, we might, like say the Outlaws take the tag team championship. That doesn't necessarily mean they're not gonna be allowed to be challenged. There's always going to have to be a contender with these belts. Otherwise, things get stagnant, and we can't have that.
No, of course not. Because it's the thing with Spectre Sonata and freaking Grand Equation. We can't just have the same few people fight each other.
Oh, absolutely. And perhaps just throwing yourself at some of the new, some of the old. It'll give you ideas of where to throw your career. Speaking of throwing things, just launching himself across the ring on. Unfortunately, Wonderball didn't exactly hit, so we've got Devin just pulling back on him.
Locking up Wonderball in the STF. Wonderball, submission specialist himself, breaks on out and then locking up Devin in the ban. This, the actual choking hazard. Is he going to tap, ladies and gentlemen? And Devin taps. Your winners, ladies and gentlemen, is High Voltage. So yeah, these two up. I say two up and comers, but I mean Wonderball's in his second year, and Leonid Sanchez is just over his first.
Well, it's going to be very. That's true. They are technically among the newer faces among High Voltage. But it's very good to see that they've got a win up under their belts. That must feel good, and I hope it gives them a little bit more direction of where to take themselves. After the loss against the Three Kings. That said, I also hope we see more from Shoot Nation in the near future.
I mean, me too. Like, honestly speaking, if I were Wonderball or Leonid Sanchez, you know what I would do? I would go and challenge every single former tag team champion that is currently still in action in MNW.
That's true, actually. Now that you mention it, maybe that's something that they can go after.
Yeah, because they just beat the current, they just beat the former tag team champions after losing it to the current champions, the Outlaws. Maybe they can go back and take on the Bells once more. They could go on and challenge the Murder Cave. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Absolutely, but once the future becomes clear, we're going to have to see these gentlemen another time. So what do we have next on the card for us tonight?
Well, speaking of the Bells, we have a trios match. We have the Absolute Units, Absolute Washington, TJ the Mint Gable, and Forrest the Fortress going up against Strongman and Flyboy Bell, as well as Ginger Boy, the Mad Lad himself of the Three Kings. And starting off strong with Strongman just planting Absolute Washington into their corner.
Yeah, and I think this is Absolute Washington wanting to try and say something to...
Oh, what a great matchup we've got between these guys. Absolute Units are full gear, and they are ready to become the trio's contenders for the Multivania match up against AAA. And they have been eyeing those belts for a long while.
Yes, they have. I mean, the Three Kings. I think trios championships would kind of like cement their partnership together. I mean, and also the Absolute Units. I mean, these three individuals have been together since high school, from what Forrest told me, and they are pretty much like family. I mean, knowing each other for decades, even. Or decade.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear.
I mean, supporting each other through thick and thin, even through TJ's boxing career. And also, of course, Absolute Washington's Absolute Hair Care products. And, of course, Force the Fortress' current ongoings with the administration right now.
Yes, actually, that's, now that you mention it, have we gotten any word from the Absolute Units in regards to Forrest's membership as head of finance?
Well, I'm sure he's still head of finance, but he's still, after Anon's comments, he was not a happy man.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just curious as to Absolute Washington's position on the whole matter, as well as the rest of the Absolute Units, because they've been, like you said, they've been through a lot together. So I mean, I'm sure they're all in support of Forrest if ever it comes to a decision where he might have to actively fight against them, rather than just declare that he's not a fan of what they're doing.
I mean, at the very least, I'm glad that Forrest the Fortress is being very vocal about his about the opposing opinions that he has against Anon's declarations. Let's just say I'm trying to be as fake as possible.
I mean, absolutely, and it's important to. I believe it's important to recognize that Forrest was, it seems more so brought on just for his sheer talent and in finance, which is a valuable thing to have. Regardless of the overall intentions of the company, you have to make sure everything's working.
I mean, the man was the accountant for not only pretty much just about half of the, either half or a good 60-70% of the Warzone roster, but also now head of finance. I mean, the man does not know rest from what I have seen.
Oh, no, absolutely. And, I mean, from a practical perspective, you might as well get paid. He's been, people have been going through him for a lot, but, going back into things here, more so on the Bell Brothers side of things, it's very great to see them just, for every just a little bit further every week, just completely hone out their in-ring compatibility, just make sure their teamwork is top-notch,
Speaking of
a little bit smoother every week.
Speaking of top-notch, that bell ringer is top-notch. Here we go. Death and Taxes locked into the older Bell Bro. Is he going to tap, ladies and gentlemen? Unfortunately, it is too much. The Absolute Units are your winners. And as we have a tweet out on social media from Force the Fortress, like we always say, units together, units forever.
If you do get the trios type outs, please print that on those belts. I'd love to see it.
Just having it like right on the straps.
Oh no, absolutely. Just having a group like that, just friends for so long. I can only imagine it's almost like a family reunion. I could definitely see them just all going back home, just giving a little tour of home and family, just showing them what they've been up to, and it's that's the sort of just nice homely thing that you just love to see. And it doesn't always have to be about big stakes. Sometimes it's just the little things, just bringing a little bit of pride to yourselves, your friends, and your family. You know.
I'm sure that Absolute Washington and TJ were practically raised on Mama Waits' cooking.
So no, in what units they are. Mama knows best, it seems.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, we're kind of going right into an ongoing story here, an ongoing thing here. We have some words from the VI Pharaoh himself. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We go back down to the ring to hear from Asir Turan.
Silence, lowborns! I require your silence! Everyone throwing accusation after accusation at VIP, saying we are falling apart. That is nonsense. VIP is fine. VIP is strong, even if we have some plots. So go on, Wilson. Go forge whatever path you think you can, and I will wait when you come back on bended knee, asking to be let back in like the dog you are. But this very night, in fact, I know that the match after I am done speaking, Suplex Sam will rip the belt off of your dwarven prince. No, everything is fine. VIP is not falling apart. Yes, I told the doctor of Albanomics I want to see him shape up and get rid of the jorts and act like a man again. Everything is fine. There's nothing. Just because everyone acts like things have been falling apart since this is all your fault. I should have known you did this to us. You did this to me. It was all going just fine. And then you had to get involved. Well, so be it. If you want to try and tear down VIP, I will face you. I will find you, and I will destroy you so that you never, ever threaten VIP again.
So, yeah, after last week with Wilson attacking not only himself but also the Beefling, and as well as the Doctor of Albinomics, the Pharaoh is very perturbed, to say the least, and I think this means the absolute dismissal of Wilson from VIP. He's officially unfactioned for, I want to say, for the first time since he actually came to Warzone. Because ever since he was in Warzone, he was with VIP.
That's very interesting, but there's been quite a bit of talk around social media, just speaking in regards to Wilson, how there's nothing holding him back now, and it's very personal for us here, because he's been very clear that he believes, and VIP is just among the greatest talent that we have on the Warzone side of things. So for Wilson to not only directly attack them, but to personally and intentionally cost them the match as a trio's contention, as to possibly be the one sent to Multivania, VIP has now been completely robbed of that chance because of Wilson's own personal intentions with regards to the betrayal. And it's going to be interesting to see how and when Asir goes up against Wilson, because Wilson, yes, he's also been on a complete tear. He's been on a rampage ever since he killed the Moogle in the ring. And just generally, he wants to be seen as just with a lot more respect. But Asir is a very frightening individual to anger, so we're going to have to see what that brings in the future.
Most definitely. But as we are speaking of the man himself, ladies and gentlemen, our Warzone promo of the week, it's Wilson.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk in a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lips and sneer cold command tell that its sculptor will those passions red, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things. The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal the words appeared. My name is Osmandius, King of Kings. Look at my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains, round the decay of colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. This is how Azir Turan will be remembered, not as a great ruler who held the sun in his hands, the chosen of Ra, but as an arrogant fool whose ambitions turned his most loyal subjects against him. I gave you everything, Pharaoh. And what did I get in return? An endless cycle of embarrassment, being forced to do the same thing over and over and over again, despite wanting more! Well, that's over now. You are dead to me, and I am unchained. I can do whatever I want now. And my first act as a free man will be this. Jerry Aldini, I want the MNW Multiversal Championship! So throw every single man, woman, and beast you can against me. I'm going to victimize so many people on your roster that you'll have no choice but to surrender and give me what I want. So, Warzone, who will it be? Who will help me ascend to the godhood? Who will be next in the path of the victimizer? I can't wait.
As we know from the Kings Road tournament bracket here, that next opponent for Wilson is Injustice Jake. Now, I mean, Injustice Jake in his own right is Injustice Jake is a former MNW champion. He is a former Barroom Brawl tag champion. I mean, this man has held gold and has been around ever since the Lucha Underground days. So, to say that he is one of the oldest names is an understatement, but to say that he's probably going to be one of the more formidable people on this entire bracket is another. Now, I mean, you do have like individuals like Defunk, Nice Ice, and Sir Uncle Dunk, as well as the Beef and Seth Jackson. Like, I mean, Seth Jackson being one of the newer members of the roster, but still, he's pretty formidable. So yeah, the Wilson Path of Destruction Tour continues in the Kings Road tournament, and I hope Justice Jake has prepared himself. Also, we got a message from Butler. Speaking of the Moogle, we here at Koopa are more than prepared for any disaster or mishap that may befall on any cute franchise mascot. I'm not saying that word. I apologize, but I refuse. I'm not speaking Japanese at this time. I'm saying it in English. I once again I apologize, but if when I'm speaking Japanese, I would prefer to speak it in I would prefer to say it. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. Let's get into some Bloodsport. Why don't we?
Absolutely. Let's get some wrestling.
Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, coming up next we have the Hardcore title match. Coming up next for you, the challenger Suplex Sam going up against the Dagger Daggerick. And that's what it's all for, ladies and gentlemen. The Warp Gate Hardcore title.
Or not the administration, the Inquisition.
And Suplex Sam representing VIP. I believe this would be his first gold in MNW.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's all
and
immediately.
I learned from my mistakes in from the Hutch Kale Madness brawl. This clip's gonna be a little longer because I had to add in every bit of brutality from this match because it felt like it was a disservice if I didn't.
Also, apparently tweeting on social media.
And here we have a call out from the Sandman on your screen here. I'm curious, Faye. In this match, was the stipulation taken away from Suplex Sam to where he couldn't use any weapons, or did he continue to go with his own personal challenge?
I believe he continued to just go through with his personal challenge. His whole goal here is to prove his supremacy over other opponents by making sure that their weapons do nothing up against him. Just kind of to show that he's just a man of like sheer power and physique, not necessarily needing to go up against any weapons. Which kind of it merely just sort of think, oh well, does that not defeat the purpose? I mean, he's gonna get hit anyways.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a requirement that he has to use them.
I mean, there is saying that he.
Well,
personally speaking, yes.
For the audience now, to my understanding,
personally speaking, yes, he can. Like, there is no rule saying that he can't use them, but still, he's gone all this way, defeated so many individuals. Without them, it would go against his point if he started using them for the title match.
Oh, absolutely, and I would be in complete agreement. So he's proven, he's kind of set himself back, you could almost think, because Dagrick, and let's speak on him for a little bit. I'm not as familiar with how Dagrick was able to acquire the Warpgate Heavyweight, Warpcore Warpgate Hardcore Championship belt, but he's been the most vicious competitor we've had on the side of Warzone so far.
Looks like Dagrick was trying to go for a drop kick while Suplex Sam was holding the table, but unfortunately Suplex Sam dodged out of the way. Now, I gotta just want to point this out, ladies and gentlemen, because I call this a little bit Schrodinger's table. Not Schrodinger's table, Chekhov's table.
God, the table snow.
Off of the turnbuckle.
Well, no, that would have been Schrodinger's table right there.
Oh, well, hit the ladder.
Especially the ones that move. Damage. I'm still thinking mimics.
That's okay. I mimic tested everything before we got in our room, so we're fine. It's alright. Well, hopefully the mimics have just been completely scared off, but enough of mimics and more to just the sheer viciousness we've got on screen in front of us. Dagrick has growing more slowly frustrated over the course of the match, I'm noticing.
Well, I mean, he has a specific spot that he wanted to do in mind, and that is set up Suplex Sam on that table and nope, just busting the leg there. Setting up Suplex Sam on that table and probably trying to do like a running elbow drop onto him from that ladder. I mean, whenever Dagger gets something set in his mind, he does it. And by God, it doesn't matter how tough it's gonna be. He gets it done.
Yep, he's got Sam is stunned. Here we go.
Oh, looks like he was trying to go for that spot once more, but no. He, unfortunately, trips up the ladder and starts attacking the ref.
He's going after the ref. No.
The ref knocked that ladder out of position. Dagrick is so angry. He's taking.
Yeah, diving uppercut onto the referee. Man, freaking Legs doesn't deserve this, man.
You're frustrated, and this is a no DQ match.
No, they don't. There was already enough hazards, and Sam just trying to get the thing out of here.
You need him to count the victory.
And it looks like he's trying to go for a sunset flip, but it gets denied. Mostly because, he knocked out the ref. Alright, he's got Suplex Sam set up on the table. Is he going to get it?
Determined to pull it off. He might be trying to do it from the corner, though. No?
He was thinking about it.
He's determined to try and use that ladder, I think.
Oh, look, round the ladder, and a big splash onto Suplex Sam.
That's got to be it.
Oh, he gets it. By God, in trial with his trials and tribulations, he got it.
Evaporate when broken, fades away.
I've never seen a dwarf fly so far and so fast.
It only goes to Dagger's determination.
He's conscious, but he's
also freaking Suplex Sam right now, showing how tough he is. I mean, he's still conscious. Ooh, nice little fireman's carry slam there.
Yeah, and he also hasn't been broken open yet.
No, he hasn't. Especially with
that I can see.
Yeah, especially with him still using that golden headdress.
And now finally
going for that cover two, kicking out at two is Sam.
And headbutt ya. Now Dagrick going up to the top rope.
Going up top, going for that stomp, but
going home.
Oh God, he landed on his feet on that one. Yeesh. Hope his ACL's all right. Oh, countered into a Samplex. Oh, with the ladder dropping on top of Dagrick. Ooh, kicking out at two.
Not sure where he is at the moment. And Sam. Oh no.
Oh God, what is he doing? Butterfly suplex off the top rope. Jesus.
That was a top
meaty. Oh.
1, 2. Kick spread out to his dagger. He is not saying die right now.
Oh, elbow to the gut. And round the world DDT, or is here we go. 1, 2.
Looks like Dagger was about to retain there, but Sam kicks on out at 2.9. Oh God. What do you think this is going to do for the morale of VIP if Suplex Sam actually wins this match?
I don't think it will change so very much because just judging sort of from Osir's just demeanor and how he explained himself earlier, he seemed fairly confident that VIP is fine, and I'll attribute that to him believing that with complete confidence in Suplex Sam that he was going to bring home the gold that night.
I mean, especially with the Warpgate Hardcore
So
Championship.
that's pretty much about, yeah.
Yeah, especially with the Warpgate Hardcore Championship, with a title that Osir held for at its time a record time week to week. I believe it was 3 months, especially with week to week challenges. And he just kept demolishing them one by one.
Very true. So he knows the history of that belt, and he must have been completely confident that Sam would bring it home. But as we can see here, his Suplex Sam is going to have a little bit more work to do before he can put away Daggerick.
Well, let's see if the Samplex catches him. 2, 3. Your winner and the new Warpgate Hardcore Champion, Suplex Sam. He's definitely busted open right there. Previously held by Osir Turan, his boss, now held by Suplex Sam, and our graphics department whipped up this nice little graphic for the new champion. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, completing his no weapons challenge, Suplex Sam is the new hardcore champion, and as well as he's also the hardcore champion going into Multivania now. We are officially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 weeks till Multivania, and oh God, this is gonna be interesting to say the least.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, Suplex Sam, despite the people you align with, we do wish you a hearty congratulations in your victory. But hopefully Osir's in a happier mood. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the only title match of the night. No, no, no. We have 2 more title matches. And a Mega Money in the Big Bank match, as well as Meme taking on the administration later. So let's get right on into it. So coming up next is the Nexus Titan Championship match, and here we see the champion Kane coming out first. Typically not really how we do things, but as Kane was kind of getting settled in, yeah, this was happening in the background. Which, not gonna lie, it's typical for him. Very fucking typical. Because we see Earl King West attacking McMorgan. Earl King West not particularly happy after McMorgan won the #1 contenders match. And here we're cutting back down to the ring, and we see the lights, and we see the all-seeing, menacing eyes of the storytellers coming down to the ring. What is going on here? I have no idea. Because personally, I may have missed this spot, and here we see storytellers in the middle of the ring. I'm not sure if the bell rung. I'm not sure what's going on here, but all of a sudden.
No, he just sort of appeared, and now
we
cut
back to McMorgan. I have no idea. I have lost all aspect of what's going on in this match at this current moment. Like, is this still McMorgan? Is this somebody else? Because we saw Earl King West take on McMorgan and just take him out. I thought he took him out, honestly.
Yeah, and but now McMorgan is here in the ring, and there is zero sign of storage. If anyone would be able to find him, it's Exarchun, and that man is vigilant at the corner of the ring. He's keeping an eye out. He doesn't see anything. He's just keeping an eye on McMorgan and Kane, who Kane in particular couldn't wait to get a new contender. He wanted this match, and he was very happy to just throw himself into the ring again. As for McMorgan, he was reported later saying that no, he definitely was attacked by Earl King West. And I believe he's going to be addressing that, or we're going to hear word from him, rather, this upcoming Saturday, so I would keep an eye out for that.
God, I hope
But that
so.
definitely happened. Earl King definitely got after him, and which is interesting, because we've had it on record with McMorgan saying, you don't fuck with the Fae, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to respond, especially with the man of his history and bloodline.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, the McMorgan clan, yes, has been fighting the Fae for generations now, but he should know more than anybody. Yes, you don't fuck with the Fae, but what happens when the Fae fucks with you? That amount of Fae
exactly, and
that amount of Fae
he's
fucking
not
should
going
not
to take
stand.
that line down.
Exactly.
And it's
So I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
It's just, more than anything, I just hope he addresses how he got to the ring so fast, because that was just seconds. Like, it takes a couple minutes, like 5 or so at least, to just get from the backstage where they were all the way up to the main ring. So I'm not sure what was going on there. And there's no clue of where West ran off to, and no clue of where the storyteller went off to either. It's just a lot that's going on. There's definitely some magic afoot, but exactly what, I don't know. Maybe Michael was right. Maybe there is some like chronomancy or some nonsense going on.
Like chronomancy, displacement magic, like, well, especially the whole. At one point he was fine, and then now here he, like, sorry. At one point he was going to face Kane, got beaten, assaulted by Earl King West, and now here he is again, just appeared in the ring.
Yeah, and that's also not to leave out the storyteller, who we also don't know what he does. He seems like a strange observer type, but he and Exarchun have been very much getting back into it. Exarchun in particular saying that they would write the next chapter of their story. So it's not really surprising to see the storyteller come up out of nowhere and attack Exarchun's pupil. So we're going to see more of that in the future, I'm sure. But to get back into this properly, I'm so looking forward to this match, and I'm so mad that there was that interference at the start of it. Because Mick Morgan knows how to bring a bloody brawl. And we couldn't really ask for a better starting for Kane and his title defenses.
A KO and a 3 count, and still the Nexus Titan Champion. Well, it's gotta be Kane.
Nexus Titan Champion.
Raising the Nexus Titan Championship up high. His very first defense, a successful one. And once again, the graphics department decided to whip this up last week, and it's nice. I love it so much.
It's gotta be Kane. It's still Kane.
It's gotta be Kane for the defense, and once again, I have to reiterate this. He is the champ. He is a champion going into Multivania. Whom his opponent is going to be? Now that's gonna be a good question, to say the least. But coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we still have 3 big matches coming up for you. We have officially the Mega Money in the Big Bank briefcase match. We have Ryder X, Mega Blitz X, coming down to the ring fully suited and booted, and being led down with the entirety of the Conquest bloodline, Mr. Money in the Big Bank himself, Semjax. Coming out strong as Mega with that leg lariat.
Does have coming into this, it is the streak that he has been on. He has been
Absolutely. Mega Blitz, who ever since going solo has set his eyes on the big money in the bank, and he has done the work, he's done the research, he's gone through several matches. Although, leading up to this now, we've had Semjax make it very clear he is more than willing to take Mega Blitz apart piece by piece and just try to put the superhero away.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, Semjax has pretty much stated that he felt like Mega was wasting his time trying to go in for it because, you know, he does have a plan going into Multivania. He has a plan with that Mega Money in the Big Bank briefcase, but I guess he feels Mega is being impatient in his approach. And nice little Hurricane Rana.
Quite certainly, and Semjax is anything really but impatient. The man has been waiting with that briefcase, and that Multivania is essentially going to be, what, a year? So that is the time. He is going to cash it in. It's just a matter of which belt, when and where. And although that does also leave the question of, is anyone going to try to stop him? Because Mega Blitz has also been gone out saying that he does not believe Semjax should be trusted with one of the heavyweight belts. And he wants to just put a stop to whatever evil he will commit with the belts. I mean, that's like, I'm not sure. Like, although I'm not as versed in MNW's history, I don't think the belts give you anything. It's just a matter of having them and proving you're the best of the best in the company, right?
I mean, yeah. It's a wrestling promotion with... Wait, do other promotions' belts give you something?
Like, I mean, I hope not. Like, it's
powers and
very
stuff?
odd hearing how, like, it's like... It feels like sometimes people come out here and they think, like, the multiverse is at stake when if someone gets the belt.
Well, in a way, yes.
I mean, I guess I could see that with the interdimensional title, or, but I don't know about that.
I mean,
like, everything else seems just normal, you know?
To be fair, the MNW title history itself has pretty much seen its ups and downs, as well as people kind of grabbing the... Also, nice Mega Flare there from Mega Blitz X, and we see Lady Boots coming right up and trying to take the turnbuckle, distracting the ref from getting the 3 count. But yeah, we've had a bunch of people pretty much, hold the entire multiverse hostage just to get a shot at that title. I mean, entire multiverses were broken because of that title.
Really? Well, I guess with something like the Conquest Bloodline, maybe it's more so a matter of being uncontested in terms of power. I mean, they're a very, very strong faction, but
yes, they are.
I don't think they're going to be completely unopposed here. Oh, we've got the blood translating into an unfortunate tap out, and your winner and still Mega Money in the holder, Semjax of the Conquest Bloodline.
And his plan is still gonna come into fruition, probably. Well, I say probably, but yeah, he's plotting, he is planning, ladies and gentlemen, and he is taking that briefcase into Multivania from what we have seen. Nobody else wants to go up against him. But, sorry, there has been not a whole lot of people wanting to go up against Semjax for that briefcase. So, whatever plan he's thinking of, he has until the main event to cash it in.
And I hate to say it, but he has a very good opportunity right now because with everyone else going on pretty much busy with the administration and HR, there's most of the superhero who are just like the good cause type folk are busy focusing on that and haven't decided to look Semjax's way. It seems more so the approach with Semjax is deal with him whenever you deal with him. Just don't take the long-term plan. So it's unfortunate to see Mega Blitz lose out here, but I'm not sure if that's the last we'll be seeing of him because he's certainly been doing a lot of the work, and I'm very happy with how far he's actually come as a competitor. Actually, because of this, he's gotten so much training. He's gotten just overall improved himself like so very much. Like I wouldn't have seen him doing this maybe 6-7 months back.
Exactly. Like if this was to prove himself if this was a way for Mega Blitz to show the multiverse, hey, this is me out on my own. This is who I am. This is everything that I have. Then I think he's actually that he has proven that. To your point, he's shown to the multiverse I can be that hero.
And sometimes, perhaps another unintended thing here is just, it proves that you can. Even if it's just one person, and if you believe there's some good to be done, you should go out and do it. Which can be a little bit inspirational for others. So we'll see what becomes of that in the future, though. I'm very happy with that match overall.
All right, but coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have our penultimate match. We have the main event mechs going up against the administration. We got the Toxic Wastelanders of Big Papa Plutonium and Gorewheel, and their tag team partner, H.R. Sawyer, going up against MainEventMex.exe, Malice, and the MNW champion, Zacho Duo, with a surprise return with Sawyer Prime. So essentially, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into that later. The H.R. Sawyer, that's a fake body. The real Sawyer is the green one right there on the meme side of things.
Who do you like in this match?
And here we just see Malice just dismantling Gorewheel.
I think I'm with you. Let's go, boys. Show the admin what they have coming.
Yeah, like so. According to Sawyer, the HR robot in the blue corner there, that is a fake. He's been playing the administration for weeks, apparently. Very, very interesting to say the least. And you see Malice tagging in the world champion Zacho Duo. I mean, having the administration the administration was forcing Sawyer to pretty much pick hit between them and his, essentially his best friend. And, well, I guess now he doesn't really have to pick. There's a Sawyer for the administration and a Sawyer for, and a Sawyer for meme. This whole, I'm not gonna lie, Faye. This is it's simple, yet it's kind of complicated to say the least.
It's at least I don't think this is magic. I think this is just not simple, but it would be simple to those who created it. Just a matter of electronics, a matter of cybernetics that we are as people were not familiar with. But I mean, it probably has something to do with like data. And Sawyer's been going on in the past several months actually about a plan of some sorts. Even mentioning to Malice that not everyone was in on said plan, and just him seems like trying to give coded messages back and forth. So that's probably what all of that was in reference to. The big thing I remember that really stuck out to me was when I watched the hardcore match between Sawyer and actually Carnival, and I remember shortly after that he referenced what was it? It was Project Romulus, but we'll see in regards to that. I'm sure that'll be addressed in the future.
Yeah, I just hope Sawyer addresses the gaping clown problem at Isla Scorn.
I mean, he's had his eyes, his cybernetic eyes, dead set on that ever since the ever since that match. He's going after it. And he's not going to be held back by anything. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping that happens soon.
And down he goes. All right.
I keep looking at it.
Sawyer is now sizing up.
I keep looking at it on the map and going soon. Please, oh my God. Anyway, back into the more professional side of things. You have Gorwheel just putting his hand right over Sawyer here.
Going after.
Oh, and a nice DDT. Looks like Gorwheel's getting set up. I'm so sorry. I interrupted you.
It's just I'm just kind of flabbergasted. It's just such a stacked match that we have up against here, especially with Big Papa Plutonium as the current contender. Oh, but we've got Gorwheel.
Yeah, we have Gorwheel intercepting the world champion, and the winners are the administration.
With HR Sawyer.
So this is going to be very interesting going forward, because, on one hand, I am glad that Sawyer doesn't feel like he has to choose between one group or another, and especially with one of his oldest friends in Zako Duo. I mean, as well as like another one of his great friends in Malice. Like, I mean, those two have spent a lot of time together, and have even held, even though it was briefly, even held tag team gold together. And not just the trios titles either. I mean, yeah, so having to pick between two of your bestest friends in the world and, I guess, a job, the best friends win.
I look forward to seeing our Sawyer fighting HR Sawyer, because those two haven't squared off yet.
That's a literal stop hitting yourself match.
And I'm sure, and I'm sure the administration is going to want to try to punish Sawyer for this what they feel like is a breach of contract. But we'll see in the future.
We will see, but I believe that's enough of all of that, because it is time for the main event, the Big Oof title match. Here we have Hightower risking not only risking his body but also his career to take the title off of that man, Sir McCheese. Loser leaves town, and we have some words from Sawyer there as the title is being presented. I believe he said that he was going to Isla Scorn.
Good.
So yeah, we Hightower in the red corner, McCheese in the blue. Sorry, Hightower's in the blue, McCheese was in the red. Apologies. And just starting off strong with that massive clothesline. God, I mean, we said it earlier. This is one of the most high pressure situations that either man could have been a part of. The loser of this match doesn't just lose a title shot; they lose their entire contract with MNW. They are going to be no longer allowed to come in. Well, they're no longer going to be employed. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be something negotiated to come back, if they ever wanted to come back. But typically speaking, in these situations, ladies and gentlemen, the loser never comes back. Granted, in some cases, like a certain king down in Tennessee, he has lost those shows constantly, only to come right on back. And well, less said about him, the better.
Absolutely. But no, speaking more on the history of these two competitors, Sir McCheese having been here since before the days of the Republic, actually, and Hightower having pretty much been here since the start, I believe, if I'm correct.
Yes. Back when he was Convict 311.
Absolutely, and as you were saying earlier in the show, cleared of all charges and formerly on death row, but he's just been cleared of everything, so he doesn't have to do this, but he wants that stipulation.
Like, again, personally speaking, I mean, he could have just walked up to McCheese and punched him in the face and said, "Hey, I want a title shot," and probably would have gotten it. I mean, McCheese himself tried so adamantly for Hightower to not get that stipulation, but Hightower was just more adamant to add it in. I mean, I guess he wants to feel like he's earned it. He wants to feel like that he's actually been there and done that, you know?
Yeah. And as we see here, with getting close to, I believe, a 5 or 6 count here, these gentlemen are playing with a lot of fire. I saw people very much tense up in their seats because they were afraid that the belt was going to result in a vacancy here, actually. Which would be it would have been an interesting scenario. And people feared that both would be gone.
I mean, actually, technically speaking, if it would have resulted in a double countout, or if Hightower would have gotten the countout victory over McCheese would have retained. Like, a draw would have been a result in McCheese retaining the title and Hightower. You know what? If it was a draw, I'm not sure what the result of that would be, because I would assume that there would have been a rematch later. Probably later on that night. Who knows? That's actually a good question that I got to talk to. I got to talk to some official people about, just so I can get my own.
Just state some curiosity, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. And then DDT.
Yeah, but, in regards to these.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
In regards to these two, though, like I completely believe either of them were to lose, I think they might, both of them would stay true to their word of McCheese on his honor as a knight, and just a Hightower, because that's just the way he seems to be.
Sword in the stone, and still your big oof champion, Sir McCheese. Hightower is unfortunately going to have to leave MNW. Hopefully for now. These things can always be reversed. But the Gouda boy reveling in his victory. And still, your big oof champion. Also, we're going to go a little bit above game here because we got something that we need to do. I'm going to pull him in just in a moment. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Hey, Yeti. Yeti, can you hear me? Yeti.
Maybe put it on voice detect as opposed to.
Or you want push to talk? Ladies and gentlemen, so we're above game now. It's just me, out of character Joe, and Wand, here with Mightiest Yeti, kind of expanding on his on the outcome of the match. Yeti. Yeti.
We seem to have some minor technical difficulties.
I just think he's probably like away from his computer answering something.
Possibly, or just trying to figure something out. But yeah, we're above game hearing. We're gonna have a little bit of a talk, just to address some things. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Hopefully, if there's an issue, it's resolved. Hello?
Yeti? Mighty yes,
I
Yeti!
thought I heard something.
Oh, here, he's in
I can't
chat.
hear and you can't hear.
Okay, thanks, Discord.
Oh, that's Discord doing that, yeah.
Okay, try and leave the call and I'll get you back in.
I had this issue a couple weeks ago, actually, when I dropped for like an hour.
Yeah, you did. And what was like the result? What was the thing that? What was the thing that?
I just had to completely restart Discord and everything.
All right, did that work?
Hello, take two. We can hear it.
Oh, hey, Zymicide.
Possibly
Hey,
not.
Zy, thank you for raiding with the party of 5. You fucking nerd. We're above game now, hearing about from the main event of Warzone last week, and so yeah, Yeti, you might want to you might want to like close out on Discord and come back in, see if that works, since that worked for Wand last week. Well, last time.
Yeah, hopefully you don't need to completely reset any hardware, because that's also something I had to do. It was also giving me that same problem on, I think it was, on mobile, actually. And I also did things like I toggled my, my VPN real quick. I just made sure nothing was blocked. Could also be internet. I mean, Discord is just unfortunately like that sometimes.
Yeah, it is. It legitimately is.
No, still can't hear us. Unfortunate crap.
Yeah, Discord dope is stupid.
Yeah, it's technology.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and bully Zymicide some more. Did you know that Zymicide does blogs called Nerdy Girl blogs? They're very interesting. Okay, so we're gonna. All right, so hey, we tried the whole turn it off and turn it back on thing, right? Yes, Zy, really, you fucking twisting my arm here, Jesus. I also will say her streams are actually very chill. Definitely check them out if you have not. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, what's up?
The only other solutions I would potentially have are make sure whether it's just you or whether it's Discord itself. So maybe try joining some other voice calls, see if that same problem persists, and if it does, it's not just this Discord. Beyond that, I would just say not just like closing it out completely. Make sure the task is like, terminated, and then just boot it up from there again. Other than that, I don't know what to say, because it took me almost an hour to resolve the computer issues. And I think Yeti hasn't been the only one to have this issue too. We've had a couple of people try to come in on guest, and they couldn't hear anything, and we couldn't hear them. I think Travis had that issue a couple weeks back, right?
Yeah, he had that issue, but like according to Yeti,
Discord
Discord says he's disconnected. Okay, I have an idea. Go in the waiting room. I have a stupid idea that should not work.
Oh, are you thinking to...
Yeah. I'm thinking that... Okay. Let us know if you're still listening into the waiting room. If you go in the waiting room and it says you're connected there, we will migrate there.
Alright. I see them over in there, so I'm going to move over real quick.
Alright. Wand is taking some time to check in. She will notify me eventually. I hope. Okay, yep. Why does it work like that? Fucking...
That was the issue, Joe.
It was... I hate that
It's
that was
this
the issue.
room. It's that room. I don't know what it is about that room.
I don't know either. I don't know either. That is so fucking stupid. Okay. Hey, Yeti. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
All right. So...
Technical difficulties aside, I hope you're having a good night.
Yeah, same, dude.
I am.
All right. So, you said you wanted some time to kind of talk about the result, result with Hightower. The floor is yours.
So it's to clear things up. There's no bad blood between me or anybody in the MNW server. It's mainly life has become busy for me in a good way. So I'm trying to describe. I'm not like a personable kind of guy. I don't like throwing my personal life out there, but it's just family comes first for me. I'm pretty sure you, Joe, know what that's all about. And like my work, I'm doing more hours because I'm trying to get some personal projects going. School for my work because my work pays for my schooling, and I've been working on that, so that's kind of taking up some of my time too. And like I said, personal projects have come up. Like I'm trying to build my new PC for streaming, and so like that's taking up my time. And also my friends, we're working on a project together. We started a podcast. It's called Back of the Burb. It's me and 4 of my other friends. I'm kind of like a guy who fits in when one of them can't join in, but that's also taking up my time, and that's always on Saturdays when Warzone's happening. And so, and I talked to Zacho, and he went back and forth with me, and he's like, well, you can always do VOD Squad. And I'm like, I'm kind of like 2.5 months behind on VODs, so it's kind of hard to keep up.
Yeah, trust me, man. I get it. I hate talking about, y'all know me, I hate talking about myself, but like back when I first was like my daughter first came into our lives, it was a little tricky, especially with trying to establish a dynamic. Granted, nowadays it's phenomenal. I mean, I can do stuff like this and she can be like, ugh, you're doing gross dad stuff. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, dude, I honestly hope you have a fantastic time with, the stream, the podcasts, and all of that stuff, man. And hopefully work becomes a little less chaotic for you.
I'm hoping maybe a year and a half, maybe I'll see if I could slip back in. Maybe not as Hightower, but as something else.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The main reason why I'm retiring Hightower is because I think before I came in, he went like through 2 or 3 other owners, and I didn't want to like just drop him because I feel like I gave him more life, like I gave him a voice, I gave him a new look, and it's like I kind of want to drop that. So I pretty much said, I'll retire him, and if maybe I could come back, as Hightower, as like maybe a surprise, or have a new idea. Who knows?
Although I'm just can I be a little candid here without you holding it against me?
Sure.
When I first saw the new look, I'm like, didn't know Hightower was a fan of Ginger Boy. The only difference is freaking Gingy had the star on his shirt, and you had the actual tower.
So funny enough, I forgot. I think it was Sirius. I approached him like, "Hey, I gotta look for Hightower." He's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's basically me. What I wear every day at work."
Nice.
I literally wear flannel shirts to work.
Man, I can't say anything against it. Flannel shirts are my formal wear.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, we're going to have to go ahead and get right back on into it. And we do thank you for coming out here. Apologies for the difficulties.
No, no problem. I just wanted to clear the air, make sure like nothing bad was happening behind the scenes between me, Caliban, or anybody. It's just I got busy. That's all.
Yeah, life do be like
And
that.
busy
sometimes.
doesn't necessarily have to mean anything bad. Busy is often pretty good, and it sounds like you're doing great things for yourself. And well, I'm sure everybody else is. You're gonna have a couple people who will probably try to tune into your stream or podcast if they can find it. Of course.
I'll drop the link in the promo section for MNW, and people can. We have 7 episodes up, so you can come on by and listen.
Oh, please do.
Oh, sounds like a plan. Yeah. Well, you heard it here first, folks.
All right. So until then, go on and check. If you're in the MNW Discord, check that on the promos section, and I'll be spreading. Once you post it, I'll be spreading that link on into the chat here, and probably put it in the YouTube comments as well if I remember. Unfortunately, that's a trending thing with me lately.
That's okay. I'll poke your DMs later.
Oh, thank God. Please do. Anyway, so
yeah, it's great to have you on, Yeti.
Yeah, Sam, dude. All right. We are going to have to get right back on into it. And, okay, we're back.
Okay, so now we know that the commentary booth is cursed, apparently.
Apparently. So
yeah, so we're going to have to exercise this thing. I don't know. That's so odd, but yeah.
Since we're still above catcher, I'll bring it up with Caliban and Zacho. Hopefully someone who knows Discord better than I do can help us out. But until then, back in character. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was your main event for this evening. And once again, oh, that is the wrong graphic. I'm doing my job, I swear. And still, your Big Oof champion, Sir McCheese. And we're going to go right on ahead and try and wrap up this night with one last segment. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Warzone Moment of the Week.
So I guess we're about to get our answer. Wait, is it?
And introducing their tag team partner, Sawyer.
All right.
R. Sawyer proclaiming to the world that the H.R. Sawyer was a counterfeit and pretty much telling the entire multiverse that he sides with his Robros. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your moment of the week. And that is MNW Warzone. you can go ahead and check that out on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at twitch.tv/Dr_Caliban. And, ladies and gentlemen, that is Firing Line for this week. I would like to thank everybody for not only contributing to the shows proper, but also checking us out. Faye, is there anything that you would like to tell the Firing Line audience as we are winding down here?
Just make sure to check out Yeti's channel and what he's up to after this. It's been a very great week. We had a lot to go through on Warzone. But that said, I hope everyone has a great weekend now that we're going to get started. And join us on Flashbang or Warzone, whichever one you can make.
All right, but until then, ladies and gentlemen, for my co-host Faison, I am Mojo, and we are signing out.
Greetings, Multiverse. I am Dr. Vincent Vladimir Caliban, mad scientist, master criminal, and leader of House Caliban. If you enjoyed the video you just saw, please, I invite you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's the proper thing to do.